In a small, dusty town along Route 66, where sunsets paint the asphalt gold, and justice is a matter of heart, lived a man who had nothing left, except his pride and an old truck. That truck was more than metal. It was memory, legacy, and love. But one afternoon, a spoiled rich boy decided to mock it, to mock him, right in front of the whole town. He laughed, kicked the man's truck, and called him worthless. What he didn't know was that 4 bikers were watching, men who'd fought wars, lost brothers, and learned that real strength isn't measured by money. And that day they decided to teach the rich boy a lesson he would never forget. Some called it revenge. The town called it justice. He broke a poor man's truck. The bikers taught him respect. The morning air smelled of gasoline and dust as Hank tightened the last bolt on an old Chevy engine. He wiped the sweat off his forehead, glanced at a faded photograph pinned to the wall. His son in uniform, smiling proudly before deployment. Hank whispered under his breath, "You'd be proud, boy." His garage wasn't fancy. A single fan hummed in the corner, a radio played slow country music, and the smell of old oil filled the air. But for Hank, it was enough. His truck, a 1972 Chevy C10, sat outside, paint chipped, but shining like a badge of honor. That truck wasn't just transportation. It was a piece of his son's memory, built with his hands, his grief, and his hope. Every Saturday, he'd drive to Miller's Diner, where everyone knew his name. He'd order black coffee, sit in the same corner booth, and watch people pass. He wasn't lonely, he was content. In a quiet way, he was rich with memories. That day, a new sound broke the peace. The roar of a black Mustang pulling into the lot. Out stepped Tyler Grant, a senator's son with arrogance polished brighter than his car. Designer jacket, gold chain, and the kind of grin that said he never worked a day in his life. He walked like the world belonged to him, until he noticed Hank's old truck parked beside his sleek ride. Tyler smirked. "Man, who parks this piece of junk next to me?" Hank looked up calmly. "She's old, but she runs better than most new ones." Tyler laughed. "Yeah, right. This thing belongs in a junkyard." Then, just to prove his point, he kicked the truck door, hard. The metallic sound echoed through the lot. Everyone went silent. The diner owner froze. Hank didn't speak. He just looked at the dent, his fingers tracing the metal as if touching a scar. Tyler chuckled. "You'll thank me. Gave your trash some character." Then he walked away, flipping his car keys in the air. But not everyone ignored it. 4 men sitting by their Harleys across the street had seen everything. Their eyes followed Tyler, and they didn't like what they saw. The group was known as the Iron Brotherhood, a veteran biker club that rode not for fame, but for purpose. Their leader, Cole Bear Jackson, was a mountain of a man, gray beard, steady voice, eyes that had seen too much war to tolerate disrespect. He turned to his crew, Mike Diesel Harlan, Joni Ace Carter, and Sam Bones Rivera. "You boys see that?" Diesel grunted. "Yeah, kid's got no soul." Cole nodded slowly, stood up, and said, "Let's go teach him some manners." Engines roared to life, deep and heavy like thunder crawling across the ground. Everyone at the diner turned to see. Coffee cups froze mid-air, conversations stopped. 4 bikers, black jackets shining with chrome patches, rolled toward the Mustang. Tyler was still laughing when the first Harley stopped inches from his car. He turned and saw Cole dismount, tall, calm, unbothered. "You proud of yourself, son?" Cole asked. Tyler sneered. "Who are you? Some biker gang trying to play hero?" Cole's tone didn't rise. "No, just men who respect what's earned." Tyler tried to act tough. "You don't scare me. My dad's a senator." Cole took a slow step closer, his voice steady as stone. "Then your dad should have taught you what being a man means." The other bikers stood silent, their presence alone enough to turn the laughter into tension. Cole looked at Hank. "That your truck?" Hank nodded softly, still quiet. Cole turned back to Tyler. "You broke it. You fix it." Tyler laughed nervously. "You gotta be kidding me." Cole stepped forward, dropped a rag in Tyler's hands, and said, "No jokes here, son. Just lessons." The lot was silent except for the sound of engines idling. Tyler hesitated, but the eyes of the entire diner were on him. He looked at the rag, then at Hank's truck. For the first time in his life, the senator's son didn't have a way out. Cole folded his arms, watching. Respect ain't about money. It's about how you treat the man who has less than you. Tyler bent down, slowly wiping the dirt off the truck. His hands trembled, not from fear but from something new, shame. As he cleaned, Hank finally spoke, his voice low but steady. "It's not about fixing the metal, son. It's about fixing yourself," the crowd murmured. Someone recorded the moment. Tyler's face burned red. When he finished, Cole said, "Now apologize." Tyler looked at Hank, swallowed hard and said, "I'm sorry." So Hank nodded gently. "Good, now drive safe and be better than this." A week passed. The story spread all over town. Senator's son humbled by bikers. Tyler came back, this time alone, driving the same Mustang but with no music, no arrogance. He stepped into Hank's garage holding an envelope. "For the repairs," he said quietly. Hank smiled. "She's already fixed." "You helped?" Tyler hesitated, then asked, "Can I help you around the shop?" Hank nodded. And that day, the rich boy learned how to hold a wrench instead of a phone. By sunset, his hands were covered in grease, his pride replaced with something real: respect. As the evening sky turned orange, the Iron Brotherhood rolled past the shop one last time. Hank waved. Cole raised 2 fingers in silent respect. Engines faded down the highway, carrying justice into the horizon. Hank looked at his truck, the dent still there, shining under the sunset. He ran his fingers over it and smiled. It was no longer a scar. It was a story, proof that good men still stand up when others won't. Because in a world of arrogance and power, there will always be a few who remind us. Respect isn't given, it's earned.